I went through a time where I was considering what I wanted to do. And I was considering all options, and where we were and what had happened was done and over, and now we need to figure out, a new normal for us. And the way I look at it, am I going to stick through it with him when he's having a dark time? And is he going to stick through it with me when I'm having a dark time?
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Another day, another Meri Brown vague book story. Vague book, Instagram book, whatever you call it. Vaguing, vague posting, vagueness. Vaguey, vague, vague. Meri Brown is the first wife of Kody Brown, and she is the probably most active on her social media. She is currently in Anaheim, California for a conference for her favorite multi-level marketing scam, program, clothing, LuLaRoe. Meri, who is a top seller with this organization, loves these conferences, and while she's at this event, she shared something rather unique about what was going on with her. Meri, who has been doing Friday nights with friends with her best friend out in Las Vegas, had recently stated that there is not a lot of things that she can disclose for the family because of a contract that she has with the network. So she says and tells people, if you're coming here for the tea, that's not what you're going to get because of our contracts. So knowing that she is bound by a contract and knowing she can't speak about what's going on in her life, Meri uses quotes to let the public know about how she's feeling. But her recent share is something I have yet to see before, and it's a cue of how she might be feeling about her husband Kody and how he treats her. And it's a doozy, you guys. Meri Brown is the queen of sharing quotes in her stories where you cannot comment or talk to her about what is going on. I'm not kidding. So in a series of posts on her Instagram story, this is what it says. It says, tips for loving someone who's been mentally ABUSED. And it comes from a page called The Real Depression Project. Now, when you click on that post, it says this. Please share to raise awareness of mental ABUSE can have a big impact on one's mental health. It makes you second guess things, question your worth, feel like others will leave you, and make you hypersensitive to the little things. Please be patient. Healing takes time. Comment below if you have been ABUSED. So the tips that are included says there may be times when they break down during small disagreements. Please don't call them dramatic for this. While it may appear to be an overreaction, it has likely triggered a painful past experience which escalated very quickly. Another one said there may be times where they struggle to put their guard down and you wish they could trust you fully. Please be patient. When you've been hurt in the past and had to protect yourself, it takes time to feel safe enough to let others in. The other part says there may be times where they need a lot of reassurance. Please don't call them needy or exhausting. They have past experiences where they've been constantly put down, told they're not enough. They may have times when they push you away. It's not because they don't care, it's because they don't want to feel abandoned and are scared of getting close, so they don't do this before you have a chance to hurt them. Please be patient, and healing takes time. And then they have a book on how you can overcome that. So one of the biggest gripes that the women have with Meri is that they always say that her guard is up and that she will not allow anyone in. And Meri has said that she has her guard up because she doesn't feel safe. So Meri's long-standing issues have been ongoing in this family. Obviously, one of the biggest things that happened to her that was the most dynamic or the most huge in terms of how it impacted Meri and Kody was the catfishing incident where she got involved with a man who we all know to be a woman, and that person was basically lying to her and telling them all these things, getting this information from her, and then it turned out that this person was not a man, it was a woman, and it was just a whole big nightmare. And then that person used all of that information, put it out on the media, they published all these messages that Meri said, they really did betray her trust. So it affected deeply because Meri strayed from her man, who has 3 other wives. It's gross, but whatever. But Meri's problems with trust and issues within the family do not start with the catfish. The catfish is more of like, in my opinion, the sort of the symptom of the bigger problem. You're not going out to seek companionship unless you are being neglected in your relationship or you feel like your partner is not giving you adequately what you need. She's expressed that the relationship at the time was not in a good place, and she did feel at that point that she might leave Kody. Kody has talked about the betrayal consistently being a part of the reason why they were not able to reconcile, and the fact that Meri doesn't treat others within the family nicely. I think in Meri's mind and in Meri's eyes, she feels as though perhaps Kody has been manipulating and hurting her for decades. It wouldn't be a shock to anyone to think that Kody might have said things or done things to her that might have hurt her in the past. It's also not beyond the scope of possibilities to assume that Meri, due to his manipulation or the hurt that he's caused her, has made her feel like she can't trust anyone. She has perhaps felt at times like she can't trust people, that she can't have her guard down, that she can't share things. Maybe Kody has used things against her as a weapon in order to hurt her. For instance, something that I think about specifically is when it comes down to Coyote Pass, and he automatically assumes that she wants this piece of land. They do not discuss it. They do not talk about it. There's no communication, and then he blames her for using everyone and acting like the queen. He uses this and does this in a very public display and humiliates her on national television by telling Robin that she's getting crumbs and not to bend to Meri. He has publicly humiliated her more than once by basically saying, we're not intimate anymore, we don't have a marriage anymore, I'm not interested in reconciling with her, and then constantly going on and on and on about how she can leave and nobody has to stay, and yet knowing that due to the covenant, they won't actually split up. So in a way, she's in a situation where she has to either make a decision to stay with Kody and lose and deal with this berating, manipulation by him, which is not uncommon in the polygamy world. Men will, I'm told, at least from someone I've spoken to, that when a wife sort of strays from the whatever the rules are, the man will do everything in their power to try to make it as unpleasant as them as possible. Not to mention, some of the wives might also join in on that husband's quest to get this woman out of the family. So when she has, for all intents and purposes, been shunned, even though she's still in the family, it puts her in a position where no matter what she's doing, no matter what she's saying, and no matter how she feels like she's being abused. The reality is that in order for her to get free from that, she would have to leave the situation. And because of her strong beliefs and her, indoctrination into this polygamous cult, she doesn't feel like there's an option for her to leave, and that she has to stay and endure the pain in order to get to their celestial kingdom where they have eternity together. Because they were sealed in a covenant, even if she were to divorce him, technically they would still go up to heaven together. She could also affect his eternity, which is ridiculous. And because of that, she could also be completely cut off from the entire family. Meri has a close relationship to some of the younger kids and does love them very much, including Robin's youngest children. And if she were to leave, she would have to say goodbye and sever the ties with those relationships, because in this world, if you leave a family, generally you have to pick. And it's not common for a family to be like, yep, you can leave and we'll still have everything be the same. Sadly, when one leaves, typically the one that stays will poison the family against the one that's left and make them choose. And this is not uncommon in the world of polygamy or within this cult. When I've spoken to Kristen Decker, who's Christine Brown's aunt, who has left polygamy. So she has said if Meri leaves, Meri will get shunned, Kody will publicly humiliate her, and she loses everything. So Meri, who is taking steps day by day to find her independence, might frustrate you because you want her to leave or you want her to go. Meri is up against a huge indoctrination where she feels like she is forced to stay, or else she's going to damage her family's eternity. That's a lot of pressure to put on something, and it's also a humongous lie and manipulation to keep someone to stay. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think that this is about Kody? Do you feel like he's mentally abusing her, or are you just like this is more of her just whining? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.